Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're taking a pretty unsettling journey really into the world of me and the boys wrestling.
hmm
We're trying to unravel this really complex and frankly dark situation around a figure they call Killjoy.
Right, and the sources we have are, well, they're unusual. We've got excerpts from what seems to be a secret therapy session recording, really disturbing stuff.
Yeah, and some intense poetry linked to the patient, plus these descriptions of like an ancient entity.
Exactly. It's a strange mix.
And we should say up front, a quick content warning. This stuff gets pretty dark. The source material itself warns about it. So listener discretion is definitely advised, probably not one for the kids.
Definitely not. And the starting point, the thing that kind of anchors this whole mystery, it's pretty grim. It's a severed thumb.
Severed thumb.
Yeah, found 2 years ago at the ODW Arena, a big wrestling venue. And here's the kicker. It was initially dismissed as just a toy prop.
Okay. Yeah, creepy, but maybe explainable.
But our sources, they are very clear. They state explicitly, not a toy.
Not a toy.
Wow. Yeah. That detail just casts this immediate, sinister shadow. Makes you rethink everything, especially now.
That phrase alone, not a toy. It shatters that easy dismissal, doesn't it? Turns it from just weird into properly chilling.
A really unnerving clue.
So the real dive starts with this core source, this homemade video. You said it's disturbing.
Deeply. It looks like it's filmed from behind a desk, maybe the therapist's desk. You see the therapist, a woman, and then the patient on a couch. But he's resistant right from the get-go.
How so?
Well, she calls him Thomas. And he immediately fires back, "My name isn't Thomas."
Okay, straight away rejecting that identity.
Exactly. It's
This-
striking. It's not just like preferring a nickname. This feels like a real fracturing of his identity,
Yeah.
a conscious effort to shed who he was.
A deep psychological thing, not just surface level.
Totally. And this internal battle gets even clearer when the therapist brings up a job termination. His reaction is bizarre.
What do you say?
He says, "Getting fired set me free."
Set him free. That's a really strange way to look at losing your job.
Right. It suggests the firing wasn't a negative thing for him, but some kind of catalyst. A liberation, maybe? Like it unlocked something painful, maybe something he'd been suppressing.
So losing that structure, that identity, actually freed him up to become something else, something darker.
It seems like it. This freedom he talks about, it doesn't sound like peace. It sounds like the freedom to finally lean into that suffering.
Yeah.
It's a real turning point we're seeing.
And then we get into his poetry, which gives us a window into that. That's something else.
A very visceral window. The first poem starts, "Dear Diary, I've been searching for a higher me. It's raw, full of frustration, cynicism."
So a struggle there, wanting to be better.
Yeah, but he admits having a bad attitude and a diabolical side. It's like he's acknowledging this darkness within him. Feels less like just a conflict and more like he's actively, I don't know, building this new violent persona out of his own pain.
Shaping it himself.
Yeah. And that push and pull, it points to something really unstable under the surface. And what's worrying is how fast the poem turns. It shifts into pure aggression, vengeance.
With violent imagery.
Oh, yeah. Things like twist the knife, prepare to die, prepare to burn. Really graphic. And interestingly, he mentions this dream where people admired him.
Admired him, even with the diabolical side.
Maybe because of it. It makes you think about wrestling, right? That desire for attention, for admiration, even through a dark persona. But here, it feels terrifyingly real, not just an act.
It's like a projection of his actual mental state, and the second poem gets even worse.
Yeah, I've never known fear like this. This one goes deeper, darker. He talks about feeling trapped, having sick thoughts of death. Mentions major family problems. Apparently his wife left with the kids.
Oof. So real-world pain feeding into this.
Absolutely. And you see him swinging between total despair and this chilling rage. It's alarming how those violent thoughts are woven in. It gives you this glimpse of a mind really teetering on the edge, choosing the darkness.
Choosing it. And there's one line you flagged.
Yeah, this one really stands out. He writes, "Do you like weapons? 'Cause I like fucking stalking."
Whoa. Okay. That's blunt.
Right. No metaphor there. Just a raw, direct threat. Leaves you in no doubt about his potential for actual malice.
So back in the therapy room, the therapist is still trying to get through to Thomas. Yeah.
She brings up the job termination again. But then she mentions something new, something concrete. An arrest
And rest, what for?
Something about him being found in a pool of blood.
Okay, so this is maybe the first hint that the violence isn't just in the poems, it's spilled out.
It certainly suggests that. His thoughts might have already crossed into real-world actions. And his reaction to this mention is another strong rejection of Thomas. He tells this story
Another story.
about overcoming a childhood fear of clowns by joining the circus.
Seriously? Join the circus?
Yeah. Apparently it led to him being homeless for a while until some strong man took him in and introduced him to something called tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery, like clowning, jesting.
Exactly. Our sources even give the word origin, since it goes back to a 14th century jester. But it sounds like this coping mechanism, this tomfoolery act, it didn't last.
It went sour.
Seems so. He says bitterly, the joke was on me. Like, complete disillusionment with that whole persona.
So any attempt to escape through this playful character just collapsed.
Totally fell apart. And then there's this mention of a carry case. It's a bit cryptic.
A carry case.
Yeah, he says it was initially meant to inspire him, but now he says it's carrying me and it's the origin of my success.
That's symbolic. What was in it, do we know? Makeup, props for the tomfoolery?
Maybe. But the point is how its function changed for him. It's like it became the container for this new self, for Killjoy.
Because this is where the video takes turn, right? A violent one.
A very rapid, violent turn. He suddenly throws a rubber ball that's like right at the camera filming him.
Okay.
Then you hear a muffled scream, sounds of duct tape being used. Starts frantically looking around the desk, finds scissors, and then he delivers this line, presumably to the therapist. It's absolutely chilling. He asks, ever hear of the rule of thumb?
Rule of thumb. Oh, God. Don't say.
And right after that question, a blood-curdling scream on the recording.
And the severed thumb found at the arena.
You connect those dots. His question, the scream, the thumb found later that was not a toy. It strongly, strongly implies he attacked her. Severed her thumb, maybe worse. The violence just jumped from poetry to reality. Tragically real.
That link is, wow. It's horrifying, turning a phrase into literal horror.
Right. And immediately after this implied attack, he recites one last poem. Human Vermin.
Human Vermin. What's this one like?
Pure rage. Self-destruction. Talks about burning bodies, turning graves, homelessness, hopelessness. Clear drug references to mentions Frosty, Jack Smoke, and crack.
So just spiraling completely.
And then incredibly graphic self-harm imagery. Slip my wrists, cut my veins, aim it at my head top, fuck my brain. Just absolute despair and violence, inward and outward.
And after all that, that's when he makes the declaration.
Stark. Terrifying. He just states, now as Killjoy, I'll be resurrected again.
Resurrected. So this whole horrific event, this is the birth of Killjoy. His origin story.
Laid bare. Yeah, forged in trauma, rage, violence. Transformation seems complete right there.
And the person who shared this video, they knew him before as tomfoolery.
Yeah, from another indie promotion,
Yeah.
FW. They mentioned he was already showing signs of decline there, losing matches, feeling disrespected, ignored. This was before the ODW firing.
So as a longer slide, maybe the firing was just the final push.
Seems likely.
Yeah.
And this person, knowing all this, they now see Killjoy as, quote, a dangerous virus.
A virus.
Yeah, worrying it could infect me and the boys, the whole promotion. A potent way to put it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially for a tight-knit group like me and the boys wrestling.
Suggests something contagious, corrupting. Okay, so that's the man, the wrestler, Killjoy. Utterly disturbing. But the sources go deeper into something older.
Right. This is where it gets even weirder, maybe supernatural.
Yeah.
We get introduced to K1J pounds, spelled, with the symbols, an ancient entity.
An entity, like a gemin, a spirit.
Described as an entity beyond mercy, born of agony. And get this, it wasn't summoned for power, for dominion, glory, anything like that. It exists for anguish, for gut-wrenching anguish.
So its purpose is suffering, not a means to an end, but the end itself.
Exactly. It's not about conquest. It's about curating suffering, like a collector of agony,
Yeah.
master of torment, not a ruler. Much more insidious, I think.
Definitely more terrifying. Does it manifest? Are there signs?
Apparently, yes. Its presence is heralded by a sickly sweet stench of decay and the sound of a distant echo of a child's last choking scream.
Oh, that's grim.
And it's even compared to its twin, Pazuzu, the Mesopotamian demon, Lord of the Southwest Wind, associated with plague and famine.
So ancient, primal, destructive forces.
Yeah, like it slithers through the world on a breath of torment.
Yeah.
Physically, it's described with horns twisted like broken promises.
Twisted, like broken promises. Wow, that's haunting imagery.
Isn't it? And eyes that burn with the rancor of 1,000 tortured souls. Its only goal, its only conquest, is suffering.
How does it achieve that?
It stalks the corridors of the mind, looking for fractures in the human will. And it feeds on a reaction. It draws strength from every gasp of terror, every shudder of pain, each tear and cry.
It literally feeds on fear and pain.
That's what the source says, fuels itself on it. It's not interested in power structures, just the exquisite art of torture. Things like the slow twist of bone, the whisper of madness curling around reason, the final shattered wail. Pure torment.
So can anything stop it? The sources mention priests.
Yeah, legends say priests tried, holy symbols, ancient rites, the works, but apparently their efforts just failed. Candles died, symbols crumbled, and Keiichi's laughter just coiled through their veins like acid.
So truly unstoppable in its own realm.
It seems that way. The warning signs are, when the wind moans and the lights flicker green, that means Keigo stands at your threshold. Its true power isn't victory, it's the agony it causes, and the unholy might he reaps from every tortured heart.
Unholy might reaped from agony. That's deeply chilling. So we have this ancient entity feeding on suffering, and we have a man, apparently shattered, who has taken the name Killjoy after a horrific act.
And is seemingly embodying that same energy.
So what does that mean for me and the boys wrestling right now if this Killjoy steps into their world?
Well, it raises that question we heard earlier, could Killjoy be the saboteur they were worried about? Given his sudden appearance, this deep anger, the timing, it kind of fits, doesn't it?
It does seem plausible, which leads us to the really immediate stuff. Sources say Killjoy is making moves, possibly entering Dr. Volcano's Tournament of Terror.
That's the word. And you know the prize for that tournament,
A
right?
single wish, anything the winner wants.
Exactly. And linked to this, maybe the most chilling immediate fallout, Elvis Viscera.
What about him?
He's vanished,
Yeah.
completely gone. And the timing. Right around when Killjoy starts making these moves, possibly entering this
I
tournament.
don't know. You're thinking.
You have to wonder, right, could Killjoy be responsible? Did he attack Elvis?
Yeah.
Maybe to take his spot in the tournament?
Given everything we've just discussed,
Mhm.
his mindset, the violence, the thumb.
The timing, his
Yeah.
sudden dark presence. It looks really, really bad for Elvis.
Yeah.
And the sources hint that Killjoy knows what he wants that wish for. A dark, secret wish.
A dark secret wish in his first match in this tournament.
Against Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. Okay, so Killjoy, potentially fueled by or connected to this agony entity, fighting Freddy Krueger for a chance at a dark wish. That's quite a setup.
Yeah, the stage is absolutely set for something steeped in fear and probably extreme violence.
It really looks ominous. This whole deep dive, it's been
Wow.
from a severed thumb through this complete psychological collapse and violent birth of Killjoy, and then connecting it to this ancient entity feeding on pain. The implications for me and the boys, especially with this Tournament of Terror, the wish, Killjoy's secret, facing Freddy, it's immense.
And think about it. If K1LLJoY, the entity, feeds on agony,
Yeah.
a wrestling arena, with all that spectacle, the real pain, the intense emotions from the crowd, it's like a perfect feeding ground.
So Killjoy isn't just a wrestler with a dark past. He could be acting as a conduit, bringing that exquisite art of torture into the ring.
That's a terrifying possibility.
It really is. A lot to process. So maybe the thought to leave everyone with is this. What actually happens when something that feeds on agony gets drawn into this world of spectacle like me and the boys wrestling?
Yeah.
What are the consequences going to be now that Killjoy, maybe as a vessel for this darkness, is aiming for that powerful wish in Dr. Volcano's tournament, especially starting against someone like Freddy Krueger? What horrors are waiting to unfold for anyone who gets in his way?